It's good to be with you today. This is July the 4th, and we celebrated a little bit with the festivities today, and we did 2 nursing home services today. We didn't have a great, huge crowd, but we had enough. We spoke on John chapter 8, and I'm not going to read so much to you today, but there is one particular verse I will read. In John chapter 8, we'll see where Jesus had been very busy. The religious had brought the lady caught in adultery. We know all the story about that. Jesus was then defending his mission, the reason he came, and who he was, and why he came, and we all know that reason. He now is speaking to the believing Jews. If you go into John chapter 8 and look at verse 31, you will see where I got the message from. Jesus wanted to speak to these people back in Bible days, and he's wanting to speak to you and I today. And the question is, will you hear what he's saying to you? Like I say, there is one particular verse I will read. A lot of people, they only think of their freedom on a day like today, the 4th of July. They look at their natural freedom that they can go here, there, and yonder and never be restricted. But there's only one freedom, and that freedom is the Lord Jesus Christ. I'm just going by what I wrote down here on my notes. It mentions in one of these verses here, it talks in verse 31 about being a disciple. We know that a disciple is a follower of Christ. And, you know, a disciple and a follower of Christ, they have the fringe benefit of truth. You have the fringe benefit of knowing what truth is. It's a perfect truth. It brings freedom. But there's bondage without Jesus, and a lot of people have no clue as to the bondage that they are in, and that bondage is eternal. It's an eternal bondage. It brings separation. It also mentions about the servant and the son. Take someone that does a job for an hourly wage. They get paid for an hourly wage, but they don't get what the heir to the family fortune. They don't get anything more than what their salary is. And this is mentioning about the servant and the son. The son is the one who gets the benefit from the family. Say they'll take a parent or guardian or something like that. My only responsibility is to look out for my immediate family. That is my responsibility. The question here is, are you his child? And I think that was one of the things that I had asked the people today. Have you accepted him? I'm asking you today, have you accepted him? And then the verse I want to read to you is verse number 36 in John chapter 8, verse 36. It says, if the Son therefore shall make you free, ye shall be free indeed. When I saw that, I thought, you know, I have a deed to my house. I own my house. Nobody's going to keep me from coming into my house. It is my house. It is free and clear of any debt. Thank God for that. I own my house. I don't owe anybody for my house. I have the right to turn the key to come into my house at any time that I want to. But when I saw that word right there, where it says here that in verse 36, ye shall be free indeed. You know, in order for a person to really know the Lord, they have to have the deed of salvation. It's something that God gives you, is the deed of salvation. If you don't have the deed of salvation, you don't have salvation. Now, I'm not talking about a written deed that is recorded at the courthouse. I'm talking about a written deed that is recorded in the Lamb's Book of Life. That's the deed that I'm concerned about. Is I'm not worried about the deed to my house. My house and my property is going to pass away one day. It's not going to be of any value to me after I'm gone. I mean, this only can be valued to me while I'm here and while I'm living. But it says here, ye shall be free indeed. You know what? I'm free with the deed of salvation. Without salvation, I'm not free. If you're without salvation today, you are not free. You can get in your vehicle and go anywhere you want to today. You can go into any store. You can buy anything you want to buy. But that doesn't mean that you're free. It just means that you have the liberty to be able to go and do what you do. But the day will come that you will not be free. And if you're without Jesus and you're without salvation, it's just like what I wrote down here on my little note here. It's either freedom or bondage. If you're saved today, you're in freedom. If you're unsaved today, you're in bondage. That's what he was trying to tell these people here, these believing Jews. I believe there's people that very well could be believing, and I believe that there's people that are not believing. And Jesus was just simply trying to let it be declared that there's people that are lost, that they are in bondage. No, they won't be in handcuffs. No, they won't be put in jail, but they're in bondage because they don't know the Lord. And today, if you're in bondage and you happen not to know the Lord, you don't have to stay that way. You can take this day, July the 4th, 2019, to ask the Lord Jesus to give you a freedom that will beat July 4th all day long. There's going to be people that's going to shoot off firecrackers tonight. They're going to shoot off fireworks tonight. And you know what? When all the fireworks is done, a person that is in bondage without salvation is still going to be in bondage without salvation. I pray that is not you today. If I can help you, please get a hold of me. The number is there on the website, Elderly Ministry. Get a hold of me. Get with somebody to let them show you the plan of salvation. Would you do that? Do it for you. Don't do it for me. Do it for you. Thank y'all for listening. Happy 4th.